Hello there.
Hey guys, Josh Lloyd here. What to watch for in the NBA on Friday. Let's get stuck into those games right now. 7 of them. Let's start with the Nuggets and the Grizzlies. We want to watch the headmaster, Jamal Murray, who has been shooting at a really high level lately. How's he going to go continuing on with that, with the absence still of Gary Harris? We still don't know the status of Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green for this game, but Facu Campazzo is going to return, and we'll see how that impacts the rotation, but mainly it's Murray's shooting numbers. And then Maga Porter Jr., who has been playing at power forward, having some decent success there. But if Millsap and if Green play, what's Porter's role? Does he move back to the 3? Does he move to the bench? Where are they going to deploy him? I imagine they move him to the 3 and Barton moves to the 2. But the minutes, the usage, how he looks in a small forward versus power forward role, I think is pretty key. For the Grizzlies, Grayson Allen looks like he's going to return. So what does that mean for the wave pool DeAnthony Melton? Last time the Grizzlies were basically fully healthy, Melton was out of the rotation. Now, he's played really well in the other games, but what does Taylor Jenkins decide to do? Who is the guy that moves out of that rotation? It's unlikely to be Desmond Bane. Does Allen start and Bane come off the bench? And then where does Melton fit? It is going to be an interesting decision because Melton's been great, but does he play or not? That's the question. And then Brandon Clark, who's been pretty stagnant, I guess, in his level of production this year. And again, with another player coming back, I think it just further hurts his overall upside. So let's see how he looks in this one. Next game, we're taking a look at the Philadelphia 76ers. They are taking off the Washington Wizards. Back-to-back for the Sixers. It looks like Joel Embiid should return in this game, but Ben Simmons will be out. So we want to pay attention to the guards. Now, Matisse Thybulle, the painter, he had a big game on Thursday. I don't know if he's going to be able to back that up again. I'd imagine he will start once more in place of Ben Simmons, but we want to watch Shake Milton, who's probably got more of that fantasy utility across points and category leagues, and then Seth Curry as well, who probably will handle the point guard role once again on Friday, as he did on Thursday, and how he looks in that scenario. While for the Wizards, Rui Hachimura, I only mentioned him because he's still rostered in far too many leagues. Can he do anything that's positive? He did lose minutes last game to Troy Brown Jr., who forced his way into the rotation while Rui played like 25 and Bertans played like 21. How does that dynamic work, and how does Hachimura look? And then Brown, let's see. Can he force his way into more minutes than 13? Probably not. Does he even play? How does Scott Brooks treat him? Obviously, he treats him like he hates him, but let's see if we can see an improvement in Brown's playing time. That would be awesome, but it's also unlikely. Next up is the Cavs and the Pelicans. Larry Nance looks like he is going to return, but we don't know about Kevin Love or Darius Garland. They're both questionable. So if Love doesn't play, Nance will probably move into a relatively solid role. Of course, Dean Wade has been starting, and they've been playing pretty well with Dean Wade in that position. But is that something that's going to be able to continue? I'm not sure. So I want to see how Nance looks and how much playing time they give him, either without Love or with Love. And then Colin Sexton's been playing an absolute shit ton of minutes. And I imagine that if Garland is out, he'll play like 43, 44 minutes. I think that's a real possibility for Sexo. And that's further fueling the sell-high nature of his game. For the Pelicans, I want to watch Eric Bledsoe. What's the direction we're heading with his playing time and his role? Is it back to 35 minutes? Is it back to 25 minutes? They're getting, at the time of recording, they're getting absolutely smacked by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm not sure what to make of that in terms of Bledsoe's playing time. He's not going to get a huge amount of minutes, I would think, and he was absolutely dreadful. Yeah, is there a chance that he can fall his way even further down the rotational pecking order? I'm not sure. Jackson Hayes, I also want to watch him. I'm not convinced that he's ever going to be a good NBA starter, but he is the backup once again in New Orleans. I guess with the way that he played, or the way that this team played in general against the Wolves, maybe he loses that job and Billy Hernan-Gomez gets it back. We will see. Next up, Heat and Bulls. Tyler Hero is a big one for me with Miami. It is a back-to-back for the Heat, but I want to see if Hero can start to regain some form. He started off pretty well in Thursday's game, so let's keep an eye on him and how that whole guard rotation works with Kendrick Nunn and Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler in that mix. And then Kelly Olynyk, who is starting at center for Bam Adebayo. Now, whether Bam plays or not on Friday remains to be seen. I don't think Bam will play, and that should give us some really, really strong Kelly Olynyk value. For the Chicago Bulls, I don't know whether Otto Porter's going to play. He did return to action and was pretty underwhelming, but I want to see how his role looks if he plays the back-to-back and how that impacts everybody else. While Wendell Carter Jr. got into some early foul trouble against Philadelphia, he probably won't have that issue in this game. Hopefully not, and we'll see where he goes. with his playing time with Lowry Markkanen and Otto Porter potentially being in this game. Of course, they both played Thursday, but whether they play in the back-to-back is what I'm referencing there. The Magic and the Spurs. Michael Carter-Williams, again, starting at point guard. He should be a solid enough option. So let's pay attention to what he's able to provide in that starting role. And then Aaron Gordon. How does he look? Does he actually play in the back-to-back? He's pretty limited on Thursday. Let's see what he's able to do in this second game back, if it is the second game back. And then for the Spurs, we want to watch Maximum Derek White.
Maximum Derek,
who was atrocious on Wednesday, but the minutes were still relatively solid, so let's see if he can do something that's not shithouse like he was on Wednesday. And same with Keldon Johnson, who did get some early fouls, but the minutes were down, and after his relatively hot start to the season, he's cooled off. He's outside the top 120 this year, and how do they utilize Keldon versus Rudy Gay? Is Keldon a 32-minute guy? Is he a 28-minute guy? How do they use him, and how does he actually look when he's out on the court? The Rockets and the Jazz. Well, the Rockets... wild stuff. Now, we'll talk about more of this in the recap show later on, but PJ Tucker out of their starting lineup, and it is a back-to-back. I assume Justin Patton gets another start with Christian Wood out, so how does he look? But how does the whole rotation look? There are lots of questions with this Rockets team. Justin Patton putting up some really interesting numbers in Wood's absence, and then John Wall. Now, John Wall was supposed to play in the back-to-back, and then he didn't play Thursday, and now he may not play Friday with a knee issue. He banged that knee in practice. That's obviously a concern for Wall. So, while I do want to watch Wall to see whether he plays, I want to see what happens in his stead. What does that mean for Kevin Porter and Sterling Brown and even Victor Oladipo, who may not play in this one? For the Jazz, will they play Ihsan Ilyasova, who's recently signed? I don't think they will, but he has an opportunity to overtake George Niang in minutes. Probably won't happen straight away, but something to watch later on. While Mike Conley, fresh off his first All-Star game, being a little bit underrated, I think, at the moment. Conley, I think he might be somewhat of a buy low, so let's see how he looks in this game, which should be an absolute blowout against the Houston Rockets. The Pacers and the Lakers. We're not going to be getting Karis LeVert back in this game, but he's not far away. So let's see how the rest of the Pacers look in his absence. Malcolm Brogdon, I want to pay attention to him. The steal rate, remember how high it was particularly in the year? It's fallen off since then. And then Jeremy Lamb, who is not, he's an absolute droppable player to me in 12-team leagues, and especially with LeVert's return coming, it's going to get worse. While for the Lakers, Marc Gasol.
Oh, hi, Mark.
He's out again with COVID protocols, so Damian Jones will probably get a start, and Montrezl the Table Harrell will come off the bench. So how do those guys look? How does Harrell's minutes look? And then with Davis out and with Gasol out, Kyle Kuzma, we might see some increased minutes for Kuzma. He probably will come off the bench with Markieff Morris starting in place of Anthony Davis, but there is an opportunity for Kuzma, although he does tend to thrive more when LeBron is out versus when LeBron is playing, so there is that concern there with Kuzma. Streaming options. Category leagues. We're looking at a couple of sixes. The Painter, Matisse Thybulle, and Shake Milton. We're also looking at a couple of Spurs. Rudy Gay and Patty Mills. And then for the Rockets, we're looking at Justin Patton. And in points leagues, Carter Williams, Shake Milton, Josh Hart, Rudy Gay, and the wild thing, Jay Sean Tate. That is your what to watch for Friday in the NBA. Hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.